All right, Shalom Akim is a high spirit we in Judah of the GMS Mississippi camp, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kodash. I also want to give double honor to our apostles, great millstone, Ruel, and peace and blessings to the house David the elect. All right. And what I want to go into today is Flourite. All right. And I'm going to open up with the scripture in Sirach 39:21. It says, a man need not to say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For he have made all things for their uses. All right. And let me just get this real quick. I want to get my book. This is Essential Guide to Crystals by Simon and Sue Lilly. As you can see, it was about $10. But it just goes into the basics of crystals. Pretty simple. Pretty simple information. Easy to understand information. All right. And like I said, I'm going to go into Flourite. Just bear with me 1 second. And it says Flourite. It says, and as you can see here, like Elder Kazak gets into on this page, operation of the elements. All right. Basically, the stones have the key elements that the Most High, all right, has in the earth. All right. And just how our body utilizes those elements when we consume food, all right, through the process of digestion, all right, and we digest food and our body assimilates those elements, all right, and our cells and our bodies utilizes them. All right, we also absorb the elements by way of the stones. And as you can see, you have Ca and F2, which I think that Ca is for calcium and the F2 is for fluoride, which is where you get Flourite. All right. So you have calcium and fluoride, which these are the two main minerals found in Flourite. Okay. It says, although this mineral comes in many colors, rich purple is the most common. All right. It was the first mineral to show fluorescent under certain lighting and gave its name to that phenomenon. It also forms fascinating shapes and interpenetrating cubic crystals often coated with other minerals, such as calcite, quartz, and pyrite. All right, so as you can see, Flourite actually can possibly have fluorite in it, as well as quartz and calcite. And if brothers are just curious, which I will and I do a lesson on that, this is pyrite. All right. A stone such as lapis lazuli has pyrite in it, as well as onyx, all right, has pyrite in it, all right. The other Kazakh gave me an onyx in its more authentic state, which had pyrite on top of it, okay. But as you can see, as we just read, all right, going into Flourite, all right, going into Flourite, it says, get back to the point. Going back into Flourite, it says, it also forms fascinating shapes, interpenetrating cubic crystals, often coated with other minerals such as calcite, quartz, or pyrite. Flourite is an important component in many industrial processes, such as glass and steel making. So Flourite is utilized in the process of glass and steel making in a lot of places. It says notable sources are the UK, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, and the USA. Then it says under identification and care. All right, just bear with me because I'm sort of reading with one hand and holding the book with the other hand. But it says identification and care. Flourite crystals are found in steep cubes that look like miniature cities. And as you can see in the book, all right, it has purple fluorite, but it looks like a city, a cube city. And to me, it just reminds me of something that you would put into a computer, okay? It says, let me just skip to the point. It says under magic, which we know is not magic, or it's really just the Most High. It says it encourages innovation and invention, right? So this is a stone that brings out the ingenuity in you, all right? Helps in planning and coordinating resources, all right? And it also says supports healthy bone tissue and physical structures of all organs, helps us to master physical skills and improve dexterity and balance, encourages a sense of self-worth, facilitates assimilation of new ideas, and understanding of fine levels of awareness. So, as you can see, this stone, this fluorite, all right, is basically, in a nutshell, a stone that brings out your ingenuity, all right, that brings out your organization skills, okay, brings out the ability to plan, all right, increases your dexterity, all right. So this is one version of the fluorite. This is a more rough version, okay. Then you have, all right, this is another rough version right here. All right, you see the purple, and then I believe this is the calcite at the top, because it says that it has calcite or pyrite in it. All right, so I believe at the top that's calcite, okay? And this is a tumbled version of what I just showed you. So more a tumbled down, polished version of fluorite, all right? So, I mean, really it's based on whatever you prefer, okay? But moving on, oh yeah, this is the green fluorite, which we're going to get into it. The green fluorite is known to balance out your hormones, all right? But these are stones. This is the type of stone that you would use right around your office space, okay? If you're reading, you can have a nice size fluorite next to you while you're reading in your designated area in which you read. All right, you can also buy bracelets, necklaces to have fluorite on you. Now, I've noticed that when I'm teaching and I have fluorite in my pocket, or I might have it in my hand, I notice that it just brings out the creativity when you speak. All right, and it brings out more vigor and power when I speak. Now, that's how it affects my spirit personally, all right, which you might affect you differently. All right, but fluorite is a stone that you can easily shoot a lesson while you have it in your vicinity, because it stimulates that innovation. It stimulates that creativity, and it's bringing out that information, all right? And it's a stone, like I said, of innovation, all right, coordination, all right, planning, all right? So moving on, it says, this is fluorite. Under the Wikipedia, it says fluorite is the mineral form of calcium fluoride, the Ca and the F2. All right, it belongs to the halide minerals. It crystallizes in isometric cubic habit, like it showed in the book, that it had the different cube structures in a cluster, all right, resembling a city. Although octahedral and more complex isometric forms are not uncommon, but I'm gonna just skip to the main points. It says, what are the healing properties of fluorite? All right. It says, what are the healing properties of fluorite? And it says, it absorbs and neutralizes negative energy and stress. All right. So another thing that it does, and this is on the termsoflight.com, it absorbs and neutralizes negative energy and stress. An excellent learning aid. All right. So once again, if you are studying, all right, or researching, it's good to have fluorite in your vicinity, if not on you. It also says fluorite increases our powers of concentration, self-confidence, and helps us in decision making. It encourages positivity, balances the energies, and improves balance and coordination. All right, both physically and mentally. All right. So to sum it up, fluorite is a very cerebral mental stone, all right, that helps with, you processing information, all right, you being more organized and more structured mentally as well as physically, or increase your coordination skills, all right, increases your dexterity, all right. So this seems like a stone that really helps with your mental and physical balance, man. Balance in the sense of coordination, all right? It says, what does fluorite do spiritually? Let's see what it says under healingcrystals.com. It says, in general, fluorite is a highly protective and stabilizing stone useful for grounding and harmonizing spiritual energy. When working with the upper chakras, fluorite increases intuitive abilities because also the main fluorite is like purple. That's what I want to get on too. It's more of a purple hue. And purple goes into what they call the third eye or the third eye chakra, man, which basically is the same. When you can identify a lot of main uses of stones by their color. So when you talk about purple, you automatically think of intuition, all right? You automatically think of intuition like an amethyst, all right? Like an amethyst stone. But it says when working with the upper chakras, fluorite increases intuitive abilities, links the human mind to universal consciousness, and develops connection to spirit because the purple stones have that ability. All right. So it's a stone that really enhances your mental and spiritual as well as physical abilities. But it's a very cerebral stone, or it's a very intellectual stone. It's a stone for the scholar. All right. It helps you organize your thoughts and organize the things that you read and compartmentalize it into different areas in your mind based on what we're reading, okay? And like I said, it brings it out of you when you're teaching, all right? And let's get into some of the health benefits. Under Terms of Light, second paragraph. It says fluorite boosts the immune system and stimulates the regeneration and restructuring of cells and DNA, particularly in the skin and respiratory tract. It heals ulcers and wounds. Fluorite strengthens bone tissue and alleviates rheumatism, arthritis, and spinal injuries. All right. So fluorite is good to wear. All right. If you're dealing with rheumatism, you're dealing with arthritis. Okay. Now, and when it comes to holistic health, and we retrieving things from your Habashim Shai, it's very possible to intake certain herbs as well as stones for a particular ailment that you have. So if you're dealing with arthritis, if you're dealing with rheumatism, you could intake devil's claw. Devil's claw, all right, is a root, all right, generally used for arthritis, all right, in pain or wounds, whatever, all right. Devil's claw. So imagine taking willow bark devil's claw, which is something that I make personally, all right, but you're wearing fluorite, or you're putting fluorite on a desired area, okay? It says fluorite strengthens bone tissue and alleviates rheumatism, arthritis, and spinal injuries, and improves the discomfort of shingles and other nerve-related pain, okay? And let me see. That's pretty much the point. And like I said, I just showed you the green the green fluorite, and it says the green fluorite brings hormones into balance. It harmonizes and recharges all chakras. All right, the purple fluorite, which is what we have right here, that's a tumbled purple fluorite. Purple, I want to say it's the calcite mixed in it. All right. The purple fluorite increases mystic visions and aids in spiritual balance. It helps the intuition to connect to the rational mind. And what I've noticed, that fluorite is one thing to be spiritual, and it's another thing to connect or synchronize spirituality with rationalization. And fluorite is a very rational stone. And if you go back to the book with the purple fluorite having the different cubes, all right, the cubes were like squares, all right, and that reminds me of logic and reason, all right? It reminds me of logic and reason, and it seems that fluorite is a stone that brings out the left hemisphere of your brain, which is responsible for logic and reason, man, all right? But with that, I hope, you brothers and sisters were edified. I hopefully you could, use this and utilize this in your day-to-day practice, all right? And this is another channel, all right, for us to trust Yahweh Shai, all right? But with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chakodash, double honors to our apostles of great millstone, Ruel, and peace and blessed to the house of David the elect. And with that, Abab, come Yashallah, Shalom.